All right, Chapter 7, Section 5 on installment buying. Compute installment loans, credit card finance charges, and find APRs. All right, in some sense, an installment loan is the opposite of an annuity. You make equal regular payments. Instead of saving money for the future, though, you're paying off money that you used to borrow at the beginning of the loan. Okay. So a fixed installment loan is a loan that is repaid in equal payments. The buyer pays part of the cost at the time of the purchase with a down payment. Okay. Total installment price is the sum of all the payments, including the down payment. Okay. Same as the price of the item plus the interest. Total installment price is a key term. Think of it as kind of like future value, but it's for a loan. So how much was paid for this altogether for borrowing this money? Principal and interest. So there's a finance charge, a fee called interest, a fee, whatever you want to call it, finance charge, they're all kind of the same. Charge for borrowing the financed amount. The amount of fee or interest or finance charge, whatever the bank or lending institution charges for borrowing the amount financed, which is kind of the principal amount. The price of the item minus the down payment. So if you're making a down payment, this is a distinction on the principal. If you're making a down payment, that is subtracted from what you, of course, now need to finance the rest of it, okay, because you made this payment. So amount financed is not, that's what makes it different than principal a little bit, okay? All right, so let's see some examples for this. All right. If you buy a used car for $8,200 with a down payment of $1,000, 36 monthly payments, that's a term of 3 years. You're paying every month $270. Find the amount financed, the total installment price, and the finance charge, fee or interest, however you want to put that. The amount financed, the way the book does it here, think about it. You're asking for this amount. This is your down payment. If you subtract them, what's left is what your amount financed is, right? That makes sense. The total installment price, what you're going to eventually pay all in for this borrowing of this money, for this loan, okay? 270 times the 36 times you're going to pay, 270, okay? Gives you a total of that from just those payments, plus you put 100 down, or 1,000 down. So what your really total installment price is 10,720, okay? The finance charge was the difference between the original wanted amount and the total installment price. Okay, subtract the two, and that's your interest or your fee or your finance charge. Okay, let's look at the second one here. Graphic Designer Pro buys a new iMac for that amount with 200 down and gets 5 years at 12% simple interest. Find the amount financed. Well, if it cost $14.99 and you paid 200 down, then you're only financing that amount. Okay. The interest, it said in the problem, was simple interest. So the amount financed, right? You're not financing the whole thing. It's the whole thing minus the 200 down payment. So this number times your 0.12 for your rate. So this is, in this case, this ends up being the principal that's financed, okay? The rate times the time for 5 years gives you this amount, Okay, so that's the finance charge. And then for the total installment price, we want to know all the payments all in. This number includes your down payment. This number is how much your interest is. So everything together is how much this loan is costing you. Okay, so they call that the total installment price. For D, the monthly payment is how much you're going to end up paying for everything minus how much you've already paid. That's your down payment. So this is your amount that you need to pay altogether. And if you divide that by 5 years, 12 months each, 60 months, you'll get your amount of payments. Let me say that again. This is your all-in number. Everything that you're, just in being involved in this loan, that's how much you're going to pay for this iMac that costs this. Okay. That number minus what you've already paid is the down payment. So this is how much you need to pay back over 5 years, 12 months a year. 5 times 12 is 60. Divide that number by 60, and that gets your amount of monthly payments. Okay. And then E said, is this a better offer than no money down and a smaller interest rate, lower interest rate, and then for 4 years? So the interest is simple interest. So this is the cost of the item with no down payment. This is your new rate times your new time. Okay, new principal, new rate, no new time. That's the amount of interest. Okay, the total cost is what that is plus the amount of interest. That's your new total cost, which is less than your total cost up here. Okay, by a few dollars. To find your payments, you got to pay that back in the same number of payments. And that should be 4 years though, right? So I'm in a little interest for 4 years. Is this money no better off than doing it for 4 years? What was my payment before? It was this. So it makes sense that this would be higher, but I think it's even higher than that. I'll have to check that one. But it just said 4 years, right? It didn't mean 5 years. So 4 years would be 4 times 12 is 48 months. So that seems unclear by the problem. Is this better offer than no money down for 4 years? Your payment has to be for 4 years. So divided by 48, 2188.54 divided by 48 would be 45.59 if you're rounding. That makes more sense if you're going to pay more for paying it off a whole year less and you didn't put a down payment. So that should be that number. Total paid is still cheaper and the payment is larger per month. That's true. Sorry about that. I calculated with 5 years instead of 4 years. Okay, we'll practice some more.